Mid-November 2025 with the Lovelocks of Sunninghill. Rough cut photo trails and video clips. I'll start with a introduction to give a flavour and then go into the standard introduction shot a week ago. Some of the words won't be right, but most of it should be okay. Less than a minute of photos to give you a flavour of the content of the mid-November 2025 video. Yes, the Sunninghill Street Fair had its own video, only 18 minutes, and people recognise some people on this, like Adriano, and yes, I won't bother to mention the names. You can look at the video trails to find out the details. So that gives you a flavour of the content of the mid-November video, having my hair cut. So let's go into the introduction. Now we're going to the standard introduction. This is where we live, at 22 Armitage Court in Sunninghill. Warning signs about fierce guard cats. You may get a glimpse of Toadie. And this spot had been known for some years as Robin's Corner, and where GPS was tested from the late 1980s. Basically this spot here. Oh, that's the bit of garden sculpture. You're always getting a bit mossy, isn't it? Or whatever that is, I don't know. That's what June got Robin as a birthday present a few years ago. Yes, the oak tree that sprang up from an acorn while we were here. And yes, accommodation for owls that have never been taken up. Pussycats have taken interest. And yes, here's Snoopy's robot boat. No work on that. Explains why. Snoopy the Viking at the front. And of course, this would be a pretty boring trail for most people, but it's a aid to my memory and anybody who may want to help with property maintenance in the broadest sense. So leaves everywhere. We did make a bit of progress clearing up some, but there's still lots more. And here's June's car with promotion of the website gpss.co.uk. that was a hobby, was a business decades ago, but is now hobbies like the robot boat across the Atlantic and charitable causes, which are mostly about putting people in contact with the right people or information. So where are we going to go next? Well, yeah, we do the standard tour. There's the bicycle. You'd have seen it on other ones. Haven't got it on the road yet. That was an earlier project, which is somewhere to put the dustbins. Warning signs everywhere because there's accommodation there for the guard cats. You occasionally see Bentley from across the road, and that's the other fort. And of course it's not just cats, it's armed mice. And not sure what's happened to the warnings. Oh yes, there we go. Beware of the mouse. That should be mice. Oh, that's been there some time. And around the side of the house, we don't recommend you go through there for lots of reasons, mostly health and safety. Right, so coming round to the front door, you can see tools left there from the last little session of clearing up leaves. There's the camper, more of that in a moment. And before we go into the house, I have to read out some health and safety warnings that have been here for many years. So where shall we start? Well, it does say here, CCTV, hidden TV cameras inside and outside this house. Sound and video is monitored in local houses and elsewhere. No trespassing. Violators will be shot. Survivors will be shot again. I hasten to add, this is all jokes, because some people say, oh, you daren't say that. Anyhow, yeah, there's one camera. There's many of them, including that one that would have caught me coming in, but it was mostly there for the wildlife, because what we have here is a peanut feeder that needs to be topped up. And oh, there's all sorts of animals come through for that, so that's why that camera was put there originally. But yes, the camper, that was June's bright idea a few years ago. And the thing I always point out is the battle damage. June said Robin did it, Robin said the wall did it, but the wall is okay. Now there's lots of good reasons for not removing that. I mean, who's going to steal that camper? He'd have to be a complete idiot. Anyhow, or she. Yes, that's the flatulent fairy. The cardboard box, that's ready for stuff like Halloween stuff to be put away. And yeah, peanuts there for birds. Yeah, junk everywhere. I think that's pretty well the front, so maybe I can risk going into the house. So let's see. And oh, there is Toady, our guard cat. Hello, Toady. You can't see him. He's very stealthy with black. Yes, that's what I'm using for shooting this, and I always point it out. The expensive Renoir that we've got on the, we've had that for many, many years. So coming into the kitchen, and there we go, good time in here. So Samantha and June, and guess what they got on television? It's tennis from Torino, Turin in Italy. So lots of other things here. Yeah, that's just in case. And so that was a job incomplete, which is the temporary mirrors, but very good result in terms of light in the kitchen. So that could be done better, but there are other jobs that are far more important. Oh yeah, I often point this out. Memories of holidays, including in Sicily and lots of other places. Oh, perhaps I'll point that out. That was Sardinia, and yeah, Buggy, interesting name of a village. Anyhow, coming back through, a quick glance of my study, and here we go, lots of stuff on the walls, including memories of old friends. And in fact, doing that reminds me of something I didn't point out at the beginning, which is very important for health and safety, which is, before I went in, here he is, he's coming out. Oh, hello, Toady. No mischief. Yes, one thing I didn't point out was my study is through there, and there's one sign, do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. But perhaps one of the most important signs of the lot, particularly for health and safety, because cameras are the least you have to worry about, is this. Home of mad ex-NATO scientist Robin Lovelock. Beware of web cameras and water squirters, loaded with water, paint, acid, DNA tracer, or nerve agent. Robin would not be mad enough to test these, or would he? Just a joke, of course, but you can't be sure. Right, into the house again. Yes, there's stuff about tennis everywhere, and I'm going to be doing a tour of the garden, give a snapshot of that. Oh, there's the closed circuit TV, and there's Toady on guard duty, keeping an eye open for things. He usually sleeps on duty. This is Robin's naughty corner, where I tend to relax and quite often doze and go off to sleep in front of the closed circuit TV. this is the lounge. It's not too bad as far as some places go, but I use this opportunity to point out what is becoming higher on the list, which is to tidy up the games room. The amount of junk, and yes, a lot of it can be thrown away. Some of it can be given away to charities or people that are interested, but it would be great to get this room back to what it was many decades ago, where we can actually, well, June likes it to have dinner here, but of course it's a games room, and there's a snooker table under that lot. Lots of jobs that were, well, no time to do more of, but often the situation is online. So just a snapshot of that. It's all where help can be given, and property maintenance is in the category of sorting out stuff. But rather than just throwing stuff away, there can be very important stuff like old family photos and things. Right, that gives you that lot. Oh, that was the Halloween stuff. So that's high on their list to put this in the right place. And we got cardboard boxes and things, so that'll probably end up going into the summer house that you'll get a glimpse of in due course. So, on the off chance you're still watching this, into the lounge, and I've already shown you Robin's Naughty Corner and the closed circuit TV. Of course, cameras are failing all the time. Some work, some don't. And, right, I think it's time to go out into the garden. Of course, leaves everywhere at this time. And so, yes, a lot of tidying up, and I do confess that I did run the tap and top up this pond and also clean some of the leaves out, because this is a little feature, the peeing Brussels boy, but he's not able to do that at the moment because he's blocked up. But I'm quite proud of that, and of course there's other things out here like peanut feeder, these topping up with that bit of Greek stuff there. In all things of nature there is something of the marvellous, quote from Aristotle. And so that's the top pond. You'd have seen this in photo trials. Cat fort there, another one over there. So now down the garden, and the main thing you'll see is lots of leaves have gathered up, and of course this could be a little game for small kids, and we've got all the tools for it. There's the telescope that Robin built as a boy, or at least the optics for it. No chance to do anything on that. Yes, Finocchi, wild fennel from Sicily. Another one there. Coming down the garden, put that in. I want to make it a bit easier for coming down. I may as well go round the edge of the... This is the top pond. We've got 3 ponds altogether, and of course all the water comes off the roof, and if the drains aren't blocked, it should flow into the top pond, and then that overflows into the next pond, and then down the end of the garden to the bog garden area. So I'll go round here. This is all part of the process of anybody who's going to do it. Inside this box here is the battery and power for the pumps, and the pumps at the moment are a bit blocked up. Right, so that's the top pond. There are fishes in these ponds, believe it or not, and there's a hose running, still topping that up. No lack of work to be done. It's a matter of knowing where tools are, and you'll come to that in due course. Here's the surviving Gunnerum anticata, or giant rhubarb, and that looks as though it's going to be okay. Looking down onto there, and we're coming down to the area that good work was done earlier in the year of a number of things, making more sky available so it still gets more, so it gets more sun, and there's more work could be done in cutting more of those branches back. But the important thing is the stream into the bog garden. Of course, you can't get any benefit of of looking at it because all the leaves, but in due course it'll probably take another hour. That reservoir will top up and overflow, and of course we've been planting the right things, and so all this stuff appears on the photo trails, and that's a lovely place to sit, and that's it. And oh yes, that's a little feature only done in the last few days, which is my old pair of shoes, and make a feature of those. So a lot of the acorns tend to go on this corner, so no lack of those for squirrels and things. Yes, mosquito zapper. Oh yes, that's worth pointing out. The proper name is there, but most people won't realise that that is cannabis. Yes, and it is legal because, and then we've got another one here, cannabis. But there are quite a lot of variety of cannabis, and this one is called industrial cannabis, and because it can be also used for, as it has done for thousands of years, for making clothes and rope and all the rest of it. It has other terms. So hemp is another one. Oh, here's more plants. So we got all the right plants in, and lots of scope around here for more lights that come on at night. So because leaves are the main thing, I made these compost heaps a bit higher. Makes it easier to do that, so I'm just showing you those. This is June's washing line. Junk in this corner. There we go, no lack of space. That can be cleared when there's time. And I might as well point it out, this shed here, no lock on it. And it's got a few things like chainsaws and things. It's in fact a year or two back at least. It's solar powered, so it's got mains inside. Right, we're working our way around. This is now the practical things of where do you find tools. Now, suppose you were going to mow the lawn. I haven't done that for months, but, and of course there's the front lawn as well, but you come through and say, well, there's a lawnmower, there's a strimmer, those are electrical, and there's other garden tools here. And of course that is an important job which is outstanding, which is to put everything in the right place so it can easily be found. And we're coming up past the summer house, still on the subject of where tools are. So yeah, there's power available there with an extension. So typically mowing the lawn, you get that out the whole job no more than probably half an hour, including getting stuff out, mowing the lawn and putting things back. And of course the important part is putting the leaves, or rather grass cuttings, on the pile. So there's a glance. You would have seen this in the photo trails, but might as well do it on the video. Yeah, so this is the workshop, and we can still put more tools in the right place. We've got the space for it, just a matter of finding time or somebody to help do it. That's it. There we go. Hammers, files, spanners and other tools. Right, I think I may as well have a glimpse of inside the summer house, or as Robin calls it, his laboratory. And yes, it has got things like the smallest robot boat made so far, not suitable for a transatlantic attempt, and stuff here which is for any work on the robot boat, and that's been outstanding. It's documented what needs to be done. Yes, a few uniforms there if I'm attending an event. I don't like to be outranked. And yes, Snoopy, and there are various other things. Don't know whether that's the correct time. No, it's miles out. Not to worry. Other stuff in here, space to put things, but no time yet to have things put in the right place. Now I'm working my way out. And yes, yet another cat fort in terrible disrepair. And yes, bug palace and other things. So generally a lot of the easy work, I say easy, kids could do it, but needs time. Oh, that's the sundial. Functions, but Jews roses grow up and it means it doesn't work quite so well. Yeah, mementos like old sores from family and things. Right, I think I've pretty well done the tour, but I won't miss anything out, because I've said many times, somebody wants to case the joint. Well, it's not a good idea if they were thinking of pinching anything, because first of all, there's probably nothing worth pinching. That's June's greenhouse. More junk, but June decide what to do with that. She doesn't like throwing labels away for plants. Yeah, sorry about the politically incorrect artwork on the water butt. That's the route that the cats can get in and out of the house. Yeah, guard cats. That's looking into the kitchen. Yeah, they're probably still watching the telly. And that's where a fair bit number of materials, things like plastic piping, wood. Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, so quite often scrap wood has got use for other things, so if necessary it can be sawn up. And then this brings us back out where the dustbins are, the front that you had already seen. So you're glad to know that this is, I can't imagine anybody's managed to play this far, but we're about to go into those photo trails of the couple of weeks which were the first 2 weeks of November. So back into the patio area, and we're going to those photo trails now. And they will be long photo trails, I warn you, and boring. Monday the 17th of November 2025. Most significant thing is actually that Sunninghill Street Fair 2025 video going up after an extra day of delay on it because of things like power cuts. So some of the nitty gritty is that processing going on in the background. And yes, in the afternoon now, temperature's not too bad there, 17 was it? Usual routine, going down the garden. Yeah, it's boring stuff, but it's a snapshot of what it was like on that day. Yeah, the primroses. Can't have too many of those as far as I'm concerned. Lots of leaves, so that's up high on the list of priorities now. When we can get somebody to help us. And yes, sun's coming out, so apart from all those leaves, it would be quite pleasant down there. Of course, that's the usual chore of topping up all 5 of the bird feeders, which I do each morning. Gives me all that exercise walking down the end of the garden and back. So looking up, and yeah, that's the second pond. Looking up at a nice blue sky. There's the Gunnerer manticata. And since we're getting into frosts and things, we start thinking of covering that. Yeah, processing of the video in progress, I think that should have been. Yes, June's. That's Fox has shifted the bird feeder. There's the front, and yes, and there's Snoopy's robot boat. It's all documented up there what needs to be sorted, but no help available and no time to do it. Other things take priority. Yes, Halloween junk needs to be cleared up. I did actually start separating the Halloween stuff from what wasn't Halloween stuff in the same box. It's a question where you put the boxes, and yes, processing still going on. Samantha's up and around, and yeah, processing of the street fair video. There's Samantha out clearing up leaves, doing a bit more of that. And so I better go out and join her. So yeah, keep an eye on that. That's coming along. And so I go out as well, and there's 3 boxes of leaves. And yes, cats, Toadie and Bentley, prowling around watching what we're doing. So I carry, hard work it was, carrying a bin, in fact 2 bins of leaves down, and then put the emptied in. I can do a bit more work. Anyway, it's a bit of progress, even if a little bit's done every day. I had a doze, all that hard work. Of course, Toadie joins me. Hello, Toadie. And so I didn't very much relax from that. And yes, Toadie's decided to check out that cat fort inside. Listening to the Radio 4 News. It was at 6:05 in the evening. We had a power cut. Oh dear. So that was most annoying. Yeah, so process of restarting things. June had gone out and flipped the trip. It was just a local one. We don't know the cause. Yeah, so I carry on with work, backing up stuff and things. So of course that meant I had to restart. Of course it wrote it all down in the dark. Keep things on paper, don't just rely on other things. Yes, and notice how cold it was. Yeah, we had a frost on the windscreen. Of course I put a bit of artwork on there. That could possibly be the word bum on the windscreen. Yeah, temperature, the thermometer outside showed it was about freezing. 7:30. Looks like I'm thinking of going down to the village. You notice I keep myself wrapped up. I've also switched to wearing my red cardigan, which is more appropriate as you get into the winter. So because it's a Monday, I thought, right, down to the Raj Vuj. And yeah, and into the place. It was quite quiet, but had my 2 onion barges, and yes, there's a record, very reasonable price, and there's Ronno showing me stuff on his smartphone because he shot some stuff of the street fair. And into the Comrades Club on the way back. Yeah, very quiet in there, so I didn't spend very long there. And of course I was probably on the way back wondering whether the video processing had been done, and because I made a guess at when it had finished. So June's watching something on the telly with Toadie, that was relaxing with her. Yes, so it's still 88.5% done, which means there it is, it's done. So back things up, and looks as I've started the YouTube upload at, you see the time, and I'm guessing that it might be finished by 6:30, and that looks as though it's the job done. That's the next day I shot that. Very pleased with it. So that's the end of the photo trail. Tuesday the 18th of November 2025. Yes, that was Pete that I met in the Blend and Brew. Like-minded, perhaps a year younger than me. One topic of conversation throughout the day was, of course, the video up for the street fair. So here's the photos in the order shot. Yeah, women shopping in Addleston, so they go pop stuff into the charity shop. Yeah, temperature 5 degrees centigrade, a little bit lower, and that probably crept up since through the evening, or rather the night. Anyhow, usual routine, like all the photographs, down to the village, past all the leaves yet to be cleared up, and the robot boat, nothing on that, no time to work on it. And yes, but you can see nice blue skies, into the blend and brew, and yes, lovely food, of course, and that's where I met Pete. And yes, wrote that down so I didn't forget. And yes, what else? Well, looks like I popped into the Comrades Club, spent a bit of time there. No photos, but yeah, there was horse racing on. It looks like later in the evening now. Spent some time down there. Yeah, that was across into La Sorrentina. Glass of wine, garlic bread, very reasonably priced. In fact, around I wrapped up half of it, which I hadn't eaten, to take back for June. Into the Comrades Club, spent time there, and I even had a game of pool, but I'm afraid I lost the game. Anyhow, time to make my way home, and yes, 22 Armitage Court. Coming into the house, caught by everything, including cameras. There's June watching TV. Anybody could have seen where I was. That was the Ring camera catching me as I came in. Lots of cameras everywhere. And what else? Oh yes, June's multitasking, playing video games at the same time as watching TV. So time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Wednesday the 19th of November 2025. We had a bit of snow in the early hours. That's it on the chair, what's left of it, just a sprinkling. It seems we had a shower of snow going through, looking at the closed circuit TV, whatever time that was, yeah, about 9:10 in the morning. It seems not long after the snow shower, a person was observed on the closed circuit TV doing some sort of artwork on the rear windows of the two cars out there. I'm not sure I can really read what that word is, and of course it was probably not Robin, but somebody who chose to dress like him, and you can see the exact time that it happened. Yes, allegedly. No, you can't read it properly, can you? Not to worry. On the patio. So here's the photos in the order shot, going out onto the patio. There's the chair with a little bit of snow on it. Yes, 11:15 when I shot that. Yeah, 2 degrees centigrade. Yeah, about the right temperature for snow. And yeah, so the usual snaps around the garden. Yeah, primroses. And going down, you'll probably see a little bit of sprinkling of snow here and there. And yeah, top up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. Lots of leaves everywhere to be cleared up sometime or other. And if you only do a little bit of work each day, it makes progress if you're lucky. Right, back into the house, into the lounge. Yeah, processing of the video for the day before. And what else? Oh yes, updated the COVID page. And with the latest graph, I couldn't go back and find the previous week that I missed due to other things happening, but not to worry. But I scribbled things down in my diary and went in and yes, made sure stuff was backed up, and yeah, running a antivirus scan, and yes, copying that across onto the study PC and printing out a copy. My routine for years. Well, not long after COVID started. Add that to the printouts. And oh yes, made a bit of progress clearing stuff up. So I wrote on those cardboard boxes what the stuff was. Some was Halloween stuff. Oh yes, phone call to try and fix an appointment, and I had to leave an answer phone message for Nikki, and hopefully they'll come back on that. Right, so bit of work, not many minutes work, but doing the best we can of where do we put things. And Samantha actually came in, and between us I think we both spent 15 minutes, maybe 20 altogether, and that was good. So, and that was the work she'd started doing, which was clearing up some of the leaves, and I carried the buckets down the garden, all that hard walking. There you go. And so that's only a few minutes spent. I say a few, 15 perhaps, as usual. And right, listening to the radio, and I caught a thing about chickens, which was fascinating, just the last few minutes. And then I looked up Bon Jovi, and that was fascinating, the history of that, and all down to the guys, including parents with roots from Europe. Yeah, so it looks like I'm thinking of taking a walk down to the village after all that hard work. Now, it's a Wednesday, or is it? Yes, it's a Wednesday when this is shot. So past the Comrades Club. Yes, I did actually pop in there for a little while. I probably had a snack that wasn't on the photo trail at home. Oh yes, yes, Grand Prix I think that was, can't be sure. Into the Sorrentina, this must have been later in the evening. Yes, there's me arancini, and yes, yeah, I mean well into the evening now, and there was some discussion about a picture being put up on the wall. We'll see what happens on that, and yes, that might be material for it. Yeah, a record of money spent, mostly to wind up my mates and family, of course. Yeah, coffee in the Comrades Club. I felt, perhaps I'll go back. It was a bit quiet there, and a few guys at the Comrades Club had come across the La Sorrentina, so I had a limoncello, and then, yeah, making my way back home. It was cold, but not too bad. It wasn't windy. So, reach home. There's the flatulent fairy that might go up a tree this Christmas. There's Toadie. June's watching something on the telly and doing housework as usual. Not aided by Samantha, you'll notice. What's that? 10 to 9. Oh yes, anybody could see where Robin was. Look at his tracker. Public, of course. So there's Toadie, decided to join me. So, yeah, hello Toadie. Oh yes, the virus checking had finished. That had been running for 24 hours, I think. Yeah, June's playing video games and watching TV, multitasking I think they call it. Toadie's on guard duty, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Thursday the 20th of November 2025. That nice photo of Robin and June was taken outside the Sunninghill library, which was closed because of work being done. The attendance at the PCSO meeting. Yes, a bit of artwork because there was a hard frost So these are the photos in the order shot, and yeah, 20 past 10 in the morning, and processing of the video from the day before, and those first few photos were probably used in that. Temperature, yeah, just nudging above zero now, and of course I noticed that the containers had thick ice in, but that was a photo that I should have rotated. But the deeper water wasn't, and that you wake up to, that's the way it behaves. Same applied to the reservoir down the end. So usual routine of topping up the bird feeders, all 5 of them, down the end, and a snapshot so you see what the garden's like. Lots of leaves still, and yes, might be of use for anybody into property maintenance in the broadest sense. So back into the house, into the study. Oh yeah, did an update to Thunderbird, fingers crossed, because that hadn't been behaving as I'd hoped after an update. Yes, nagging me for donations, of course. Right, looks like June's watching tennis, and oh yeah, we tried to get a video she shot of whatever it was, snow I think, of her phone, but ended up not using it. Ended up using it off the closed circuit TV. Coming up to midday, and yes, it's pub lunch, and so Stuart has arrived, and his chauffeur, and he decided to go off very quickly, even though the table wasn't booked until 12:35, but I guess may as well relax there as anyway. And of course enjoyed the food and the conversation. Not many photos taken, but just a record. And yes, that was my scars from Toady. Bit of play fighting he intended. Right, on their way back, past a few landmarks like the courthouse and the pub. Yeah, took that photo by accident. Past the Courts Hall and the theatre, Raj Vuj, and the Jade, or Jade Fountain as it was. And coming up through the village, past 3-1 Barbers, Blend and Brew on the right, into Armitage Court and home. Now of course they're going for coffee and I'm going to join them, but I obviously go back in, even if it's only for 5 or 10 minutes, checking things like emails, and while I'm about it I take a few other snaps. Yeah, so June's probably got, yes, tennis. I think that was from Bologna, Italy, but I may be wrong. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was on the trackers. Got back home and he's going across the road afterwards. Yeah, quick check on things. So coming up to 2 o'clock. We got back a bit earlier. That's where we'd gone. Duke of Edinburgh and Woodside, Ascot, North Ascot, and yeah, and back home here. And I'm going across the road now for coffee and bickies up to Richard and Faye's. And looks like June. Ah, right, yes, and then June was going to pick me up so that we could visit give me transport round to, that's a shot by accident, at the police PCSO meeting, which we've been getting emails to say where it was, which was not far, just the other end of the village, but it's rather a long walk, and at the Sunninghill Library. But of course when we go in we find that there's work in progress and the library's been closed for several days. That's the photo I took afterwards. And yeah, so we're now making our way back, and of course I looked afterwards and googled up, and sure enough that's been online for weeks rather than days, that the library would be closed. And so usual thing of whatever it is, mistakes in the system somewhere in the emails we get telling us about these police PCSO meetings. But of course, when they're attended, from my point of view, they're really good meetings. Right, that's yeah, get in later in the day, sunset early of course. Went in for, joined them for a bit more coffee and discussion. I think June joined me as well. And then back home, and yeah, you can see the time, 4:10 in the afternoon. Yes, anybody could see Robin, including walking across the road. And what have we got here? Oh yes, June's got the telly on, tennis again, and yeah, probably checking temperatures again. Yeah, it's nudging up above freezing now. And yes, of course, lights are starting to come on as it gets darker. So it's all a case of all helps. Anybody who's going to help us fix these things, that come on all right, which is the mosquito zapper. One of the lights was on. Put my hand over one and that light came on, but took my hand off and it came off again. So it wasn't quite dark enough. So if I'd have waited another 10 or 15 minutes, it would have probably come on. And yeah, so that's the duck garden. Yeah, very boring, but it's a record. And coming back up, yeah, June's groundhouse. Yeah, loads of junk. And right, so as you see, it's getting darker. Making my way back past the top pond and the patio outside the lounge, and into the lounge, and check the spot tracker, spare spot tracker, and yes, that seems to be good. It's making its regular reports, even though it's saying the batteries are very low. So I put the batteries on charge so that it can be put in the car the next day. June's watching tennis from Emilia Romagna, which I think is Bologna, Italy. Probably got it wrong. Ah, a little bit of artwork being done there. And yes, that must have been the photos they taken. Whatever. Yes, they were edited into that video from the day before. Oh, there's Bentley saying, I've had my food. You can let me out now. June's multitasking. Tennis and video games. Yes, hello Bentley. Yes, he decided to go out through the flat because I thought, no, I'm not going to let you out the front door. Then, of course, Toadie decided to prowl around as well and eat. They take turns, it seems now. And looks like that's video done for then. Looks like I'm thinking of a trip down to the village. Force myself to eat. So it's obviously getting later in the evening now. And I say eat, it's not just that, of course. So where should I go? Well, yes, for the flame. Several days. So I had my usual cheeseburger and coffee, and I seen somebody taking a picture of me through the window. So I popped round briefly, then across into the Cromrose Club, and then back into Sorrentina. Forced myself to have a glass of wine and some time there. Of course, it's the guys you chat to that are important. Back into the Comrades Club again, and looks like I'm on my way home now. Yes, back to 22 Armitage Court, into the house. Of course, the Ring cameras say, yes, I'm going out your front door. June's watching the tennis still. 10:10 in the evening. And yes, the tracker shows where Robin was. Time for bed, so that's the end of the photo trail. Friday the 21st of November 2025. It seems somebody did a bit of artwork on the frost. We did have a hard frost that night, and somebody did some artwork on the front of one of the cars. And, well, on the back it looks like. Anyhow, yes, so decided to take the spot tracker out to charge it up. That's the spare one that we keep in the car, and there's Bentley being let out the front. June's watching whatever that is on the TV in the kitchen. So coming up to 9 o'clock, I think that was, in the morning. Yes, 5 to 9 there. And yeah, ice on the containers of water, but the pond itself, being the water being deeper, hadn't frozen. Making our way back into the lounge, and yes, that's probably processing of the video from the day before, including yes, pictures. And right, June's providing transport to go to Sunninghill. This is the photo trailer going through the village of Sunninghill. Going to Sunninghill, Costa Coffee, for a police PCSO meeting, and I thought, out of curiosity, I'd see if anybody turned up, because of course the one, I think it was the day before, it turned out the library had been chosen in the emails to meet, but of course the library's closed. In fact, it's closed until further notice. So we get there, Costa Coffee, and June decides to park around the corner, and there's Keith. And yes, he went round the back for a moment, and I managed to get that photograph of wearing his hat. Anyhow, rang up June, and it turns out she was round the corner in the car park, picked me up, and so a few snaps going back from the middle of Sunninghill. And yes, the crossing was closed, so we took the usual route back through the rise. So we're coming up the hill and into Sunninghill, past the Morris School on the right and the post office, Cords Hall on the left, and on that corner past cinema and a few other places, the Jade, or the Jade Fountain as it was, 3-1 Barber, Simmons Butcher, and yes, into Armitage Court at number 22 with signs for fierce guard cats. Into the house, check the tracker. Yeah, like anybody could see where Robin was, including spending time at Costa Coffee. June's tracker, yeah, shows where she parked round the corner. So that's processing of the video from the day before. Looks like the women are off to tennis, and yeah, so opportunity to a bit more artwork to be done, so that Samantha could see that when she went out. So they're off. So what's Robin going to get up to now? Hard work, of course. Not all the work is on these photo trials. Temperature, yeah, a couple of degrees above freezing. It's obviously now beginning to thaw slowly. And down the end of the garden, if I hadn't done it before, probably, yeah, I hadn't top up the bird feeders, all 5 of them. Lovely clear sky, sun coming out. One of the benefits, I suppose, of days when you get a hard frost. Yeah, so making my way back into the lounge. Yes, that's listening to the Radio 4 news. Peanuts into the peanut feeders at the front. Top those up. They will last for roughly a week. Check the temperature there, yeah, just nudging above 0. That's the outside temperature, but it's right near the house. Yeah, perhaps we should be thinking of clearing some of that junk. Been overdue for a long time. Oh yes, bit more artwork done on the front of Samantha's car. Yeah, quite pleased with that bit of work, whoever did it. And that's processing of the video for the day before, backing things up onto hard disk. Where are the women? That's June's tracker. Looks like they're on their way home now from the Royal Ascot tennis court, coming down through South Ascot. They've gone off there. And yes, I recognise that place, King Ross Avenue, so that was to drop off one of their friends at their home. Right, it looks as though they're on their way back again, and we're here, so they'll be back in a few minutes. So if I go out there, yes, I should get out there before they arrive, and there they are coming in. Right, so I think they enjoyed their tennis. It was cold but dry. Yes, and looking back at the trackers shows them back home, so that's working well. Then looking at the Spot T2 tracker, the spare Spot Satcoms tracker, that was working. It's shown the visit. Doesn't update as fast by any means, but it has other benefits. Works outside of mobile phone coverage, including the middle of the Atlantic. Yep, so that's working good. What else? Oh yeah, I had some emails, including from Crown Justice. Gives me early warning of various stories, even though it's some would unkindly describe them as ambulance chaser lawyers, but very well organised. So looks like I'm off to the village, and it must be to have lunch, I would think. Yeah, so into the village, lovely and sunny, quite chilly, blend and brew, no chairs outside, a few people want to sit inside, I think. And yeah, while I was there, lovely food. Those photos were taken when there weren't many people in, but in fact there were. Oh, and that was great, meeting old friends and neighbours from, oh crikey, it was late 70s, from Murray Court. And yeah, horse racing from Ascot on. And again, it's all to do with the people you meet and chat to. You can't always take photographs. Into La Sorrentina. This is almost certainly at the back end of the day. Quite early evenings before big rush. Yes, arancini. Enjoy that with a glass of Pinot Grigio. Oh, and then I had a limoncello cheesecake, and there's the bill, record of it. Out of La Sorrentina, into the Comrades Club again, spend a bit of time there, relaxing and chatting, and think, needed a bit of cash. And back into La Sorrentina for a glass of limoncello and chatting with Juba, who decided to go in there. So back into the Comrades Club again. And somebody's got to do it. And back out, and it's almost certainly home. Yes, back home to 22 Armitage Court. Yeah, oh yes, that's still legible. And yes, they're watching whatever it is. A letter had arrived from the NHS. I thought, oh, that could be one of the ones I'm hoping for, but no, it was something different. It was about flu jabs. Looked at the tracker. Yes, anybody could see where Robin was, including getting back home okay. Just here. So they're watching the TV, time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. Saturday the 22nd of November 2025. Just had my hair cut, long overdue, and in the Free Ones barber, that's the boss. And yes, the guys from Libya And right, yes, so here's the photos in the order shot, most of them after midday, listening to the Radio 4 news. June's already decided going around doing a bit of housework, including tidying up stuff. And I pointed out that probably a matter of knowing where we're going to put things before we do it. Anyhow, went out and did my usual routine, checked the temperature, nice and mild, 5 degrees, relatively speaking that is. June decided to top up the bird feeder. I saw that the ice was melting. So that door's a bit sticky. One of the many jobs on property maintenance that need to be done. And yes, why is not Samantha helping? She's upstairs in her room, probably watching telly. She did come down later when I gave her a call. Yes, so a few photos around the garden, the usual routine, so you can see on that day what it was like. Lots of leaves. Need help really, because there's just too much work to be done. And topping up the bird feeders, all 5 of them down the end. And what else? Most important thing, of course, is it's got a lot milder. So it means one can do things which wouldn't be inclined to do. So, right, looking where things might go, and I thought, well, I'll make a start. So there's my robot boat electronics. And June said, yes, you could use, and the cameras, bag of those. So at least I thought, right, well, I put them in the right place from the point of view the summer house, but as a separate activity of putting them in the right drawers, for example, or on display or whatever. Right, that's one of the cameras out the back. That's the sticky door. And oh yes, June's decided to do a bit of work out the back, and I thought, good opportunity to run the car. And it wouldn't, the battery had gone flat, so I put it on charge. And again, working with June, matter of whether she knew how to do that. And I ended up using touch, fingers crossed, and I can say now the next day that it did work. The car would start again. And right, a few more steps around the front. Yes, lots of leaves there. Easy work, but it takes time and effort. That's why it's much better to get somebody else to help you. That's a phone call to Samantha upstairs, probably watching tennis or something on the TV. So she came down and to have her lunch, of course. So at least it got her out of her room. And speaking to Samantha, so coming up to 1 o'clock, looked at the websites for rain. Yes, there's showers of rain coming through, because I'm thinking of going down to the village, probably thinking of lunch at that time of the day. And oh yes, the robot boat, I switched it off, and I had switched it off and switched it on, and it did actually run for a little while. When I checked the closed circuit TV at the back end of the day, it only ran for half an hour, but at least it's functioning, and it's well documented what the power problems are. So there's me walking down into the village and into the blend and brew, and of course lovely food, and of course conversations. Oh yes, one of them was Rick and son Rupert, I think. That was laid to my memory. Oh yes, a bit of artwork. And I'm thinking, perhaps I should have my hair cut. So across the road, and there was a bit of a gap in the showers of rain, into the Pre-One Barbers, had my hair, well that was before, and that's after, inside. And right, back into the Comrades Club now, little relax there for a little while. And of course, I rarely have the photos of the guys that I'm meeting unless they're very happy with the idea, or you can hardly see them. Oh, a bit more artwork back in the blend and brew log of it. Probably went in for another cup of coffee. And it's getting darker, you can see, so later in the day, back into the Comrades Club. So I spent most of the day down in the village just for a change. And Adriano came over with his guys. Didn't stay very long because they had a busy evening ahead of them. And allegedly they came over to borrow some chairs. Oh yes, I saw that up on the window. That was I had a burger and checked my credit card, and it worked okay there, but it hadn't worked in the Comrades Club earlier. And so I checked it out, and then it worked. So not sure what that problem was. Yeah, it looks like I'm back in the flame. Just probably relaxing for a coffee, and back in the Comrades Club. So I think I'm back on my way home now. Probably late in the evening. Relatively mild, so despite having a haircut, I'm not that cold. Probably had my hood up though. Yes, June's watching Strictly Come Dancing and Toadie's relaxing with her. They decided to have some supper. So back into there. There's the Ring camera, caught me coming to the front door. Anybody could see where I was and that I got back home, just here. Oh, what's that? It was an email came in from Steve Bear. A photograph he'd taken, I think that was on the previous Sunday, the street fair. Yes, she's still watching tennis, so time for bed, and that's the end of the photo trail. I did warn you they'd be boring and long photo trails, but let's go back into the house now, because we're going to run into material that was shot probably a couple of years ago on two subjects. One was global warming. There's Samantha just going back upstairs with her cup of tea. Yes. And here's June. Yeah, still watching the tennis. Yeah, so two subjects. One is global warming, and in short, you haven't seen anything yet, and it's going to happen. And those prophetic words of James Lovelock. And the other subject was Robin's experiences with the DVLA and suggestions. That's the Driver Vehicle Licensing Agency in the UK. But we're going to run into that material, and I think that whole material starts at about here. Now, what I put on the screen, because global warming is rare in itself, it's something that's been on my Grumpy page for years. The remarkable James Lovelock, who passed away on the 26th of July, his 103rd birthday. I'll read out what this says here. This has been on the Grumpy page for years, not long after the publication of his book, Revenge of Gaia. We can't stop global warming, but we may delay it by a few decades to give us time to prepare for its effects. Vast areas of the world, including as close as continental Europe, becoming arid desert, shrinking of habitable areas of the planet to much smaller parts of the planet, closer to the poles. The Earth will then only be able to support a small fraction of its present population, and there will be a need for massive migration. Places like the UK will remain temperate a little longer, so be an attractive destination. We need all world governments to cooperate to prepare for this inevitability. Also to agree things like reduce use of fossil fuels to give us a few more decades to prepare. And then it goes on, the above is not a quote, but how I remember what James Lovelock said in his book, The Revenge of Gaia, etc. That's been unchanged on my site for years. And, right, well, the other thing I should mention, yes, retired, happy and spending that kid's inheritance, is for some time now I've not been able to drive due to, well, several mistakes at the DVLA. And what I will say is that I have new evidence of what happened inside the DVLA, which I won't publish yet because I'm still waiting for the reply to the letter which was delivered by recorded delivery to the head of the DVLA and also other people. So I'll put in at the end of this long video the video that's gone up, me talking about the DVLA, and basically in summary it says I don't want anybody to get into trouble, and that is definitely the case, and resigning is too easy. Problems need to be fixed. But quite honestly, that is a minor thing compared with all the other things that are going on in the world, not least wars, and of course what's in the background and very important is global warming. So let's run into that. Back in 2012.
Seen the launch of a transatlantic sailing attempt this morning in a model boat. Retired NATO scientist Robin Lovelock launched his Snoop Loop from Barton-on-Sea towards the Bahamas. It's already been tested over 5,000 miles on a lake in Berkshire. The model will be steered and tracked through a satellite system and by Snoopy, of course, and it should make the crossing in 6 months, if it survives, that is.
The most important thing of the lot, of course, is Snoopy the Viking, the skipper. I don't think he'd make it otherwise. We've also got another bit and piece here. This is a GPS logger that logs the position every 15 minutes.
That was back in 2012. The guy that put this material together, including the live broadcast and what went up on the BBC website, is Ben Moore.
I just worry for Snoopy. Sport now and Hampshire.
Right, on to the next topic. Right. Now, I'm going to do this all in one take. All unrehearsed and unscripted, so sorry about that. What I'd like to happen, if anybody picks up on the DVLA story, is, as I say, nobody getting into trouble, and that's a genuine request. But when they find flaws in procedures where they don't cover certain things, be good if those are fixed. What I think would be useful for anybody looking at the DVLA and perhaps helping them is, first of all, their organisation chart showing the structure. Yes, it's well known who the head of the DVLA, remarkable woman, looking at her CV, and relevant to this story is the head of the health part. But it would be very useful to see, even if names aren't attached, obviously the names can be attached where they're public already, is how many people in each branch, how many people are reporting to how many. So a simple tree would help. I suggest that first of all. Then, perhaps even more important, is how many people working for the DVLA, even if you don't identify the individuals, are salaried by the DVLA excuse me, directly, as opposed to contracted through an agency or a business. That is very important, and we've seen what's been happening in places like the NHS for years. So that comes into the equation in terms of whether money is well spent, and of course the DVLA collects a lot of money, and there are probably other things as well, but as a starting point, I'd hope anybody that responds to this, I can't afford to get overloaded, we've got other things to do, many other things to do, and we'll be taking a holiday, that'll be public, yes. I'm tracked everywhere by different things, and in fact, if anybody's paranoid about it, anybody who's tracking somebody or looking at somebody's probably seen already. But at the end of the day, there's me wittering on, which is one of my major weaknesses since I was a little child. That's why if you put things up, clearly be careful what you put up, and often it can do some good. I'm now in the kitchen and June's rustling up some food in the microwave for Samantha, and here's Samantha, and of course there's tennis on the television just for a change. So, oh yes, point out holidays in we're going off to Sicily again soon, and into the hall. Yes, nice expensive paintings here. Yep, expensive little pocket camera, not expensive, and through into the lounge, and retired, happy and spending the kids' inheritance. So let's wrap up this long video by saying, look after yourselves, stay safe and enjoy what days we have.